Hey, what's up? Serena here from thriftdiving.com, and today we are going to do a virtual home tour. I would take you through my house, but it is so messy right now, you don't want to see the inside. So we're going to do a virtual home tour. We are teaming up with Invisalign. They are sponsoring this video. If you remember, we did a kitchen makeover with Invisalign last month, and so now you're going to get to see even more results around my house. And the whole idea is that these small incremental changes actually do lead up to big results over time. And also, you don't have to DIY everything. There are some things that you can have professionals do, but I'm going to show you the things in my home that I've done myself for DIY and some things that I chose not to do myself. So let's jump into this home tour right now. And we're going to kick this virtual tour off with the entry. This is what it looked like when we moved in. Well, this was the previous people's home, and it looked great, except for one thing. It had wallpaper, and if you know me, you know that I despise wallpaper. It's very difficult to get off. Well, I decided to go school bus yellow for a couple years, and I thought, Serena, what are you thinking? This is not your personality. You love turquoise. So I chose this beautiful sea salt, and I've actually remained with this color for several years. If you've been watching my channel, you'll know that over time, I've been freshening things up, adding new rugs, making curtains, painting the doors, doing all these fun things. And eventually one day I would like to hire some professionals, maybe if I actually feel like I can do it myself, to come in and actually bust out this floor and put some new tile. But the doors, that's something that I was able to DIY. The color was brown. I did not like it, and I wanted something with a vibrant color. Well, that was about four years ago, and in the last 6 months, we updated the lighting, but we also hired somebody to come in and put some new doors. So now with the new doors, with the new planters that you saw on my channel, instead of it being old and drafty, I do like the red. Now we've got these modern black sleek doors. So I'm loving how this looks. So let's turn left off of the entry into the quote-unquote formal living room. Nobody has formal living rooms anymore. This is what mine looked like. It really had become a gaming room, a computer room for the kids. And you saw this in a recent video where I changed this into a beautiful, vibrant room that was inspired by a family vacation. We went to Belize and Guatemala, and I took some of that trip and brought it back into the room makeover. Now remember that hammock chair that I had over in the corner. It was so cute. It was so pretty. I was loving it for a day. Guys, it started to unravel after one day. So that didn't work. I ended up ordering a new one online. You can find the links down below. And this one is so much more comfortable. I love this room. I love, at the end of the day, just coming here, lounging with the kids, playing my video games on my phone, and just spending time with the kids and seeing how their day is. Now, before we move over to the dining room, which is that lavender room over to the right, we're going to switch to the kitchen. Now, if you've been following my blog recently, about a month ago, I did a kitchen makeover with my son, Kwabena. He's 13, and he actually helped a little bit, but we teamed up with Invisalign for this makeover, just showing people how just a little bit of change over time can make a big difference. Okay, so here we go. Hey guys, what's up? Serena here from thriftdiving.com. Oh, my voice is like, ready? And don't touch your face. This project was so much fun with my little Steph Curry lookalike, but I did promise you I would let you know how his makeover is going with the Invisalign treatment. And I have to tell you, this has been an amazing experience. Invisalign treatment is actually the most advanced clear aligner system in the world, and that is definitely seen from the comment section. So many of you have said you've had the aligner treatment yourselves, you've loved it, and I'm not surprised. I mean, they've been in business for 20 years. That's 20 years of innovation and 6 million smiles, whether it's simple or complex. Now, Kwabena's is simple. You see here when he was about 7 or 8, he had a huge gap. Thankfully, over time, it did close a little bit on its own as he got older, but by week 7, and week 10, his teeth were looking fantastic. And he still has probably another 4 or 5 weeks to go. Now, I don't DIY everything. And this is one thing that I didn't want to DIY. I definitely wanted an orthodontist to make sure that they're monitoring his teeth. And they do that every week with the dental app. I mean, it's really great. Take pictures of your teeth, upload it to the orthodontist. They review it. and then you see your progress and know whether or not you move to the next aligner. So it's been great. And the cost really is comparable to braces. So if you're considering it, definitely go down below, click the link for more information for yourself and for your teen. And now let's jump into the next room makeover, which is the dining room. Now, I will admit, I did like the dining room that the previous owners had. It had style, it did. I'll admit it. But that wallpaper, I'm sorry guys, it's too outdated for me. So we removed all that stuff and it was a nightmare. The problem is that I replaced it with this ugly green color, and I left it this color for many years until finally I'm like, you know what? We're going to do pink, purple. I just love that color and it worked. Now, the biggest complaint that people gave me about this dining room makeover is that they didn't like that my table and my chairs were mismatched. I had painted the chairs white, but I left the tabletop a dark stain and the bench was a different color as well. But the thing is, I literally just did the bench maybe about a month or two before, so I didn't feel like I should paint over something that I had just refinished. So this is the before, and the after, despite having some mismatched furniture, still looked much better. So I love this dining room. Right now, it's definitely very cluttered because I've got some things in there that need to go to the thrift store. But overall, I love how this makeover turned out. Now let's move on to the next part of my house, the family room. Off of the kitchen, it steps down to the family room, and this is what it looked like with the previous owner's furniture. I had the contractor take out all of this paneling and put in drywall, and about 7 years ago, I painted this fireplace. Look how young Kwabena was. He was like 4 years old. That's how long we've been in this house. And over the years, I had replaced the curtains. We still have this same exact furniture. We've painted a couple of times, but look at this treasure that I found. I just have to show you this. Do you want me to put this on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to say to YouTube?
I want to say that I was painting with you.
You're painting with me? And what's the name of my blog?
I don't really remember.
You don't remember? How can you not remember my blog name?
Why do you think I don't remember your blog?
So what do I say? I say, hi, I'm Serena from...
Thriftdiving.com.
Yes! Thriftdiving.com!
I don't need to practice. Another day I know how to do it. It's thriftdiving.com.
Yes. So can you introduce yourself? Can you pretend that you're filming a video for YouTube? And you can say, hi, my name is Kojo from thriftdiving.com.
My name is Kojo for Kojo.com.
From Kojo.com. I love it. You are so cute. Okay, you ready? And you gotta face the camera. Ready? Start from the beginning. Who are you?
Kojo. I'm from thriftdiving.com. I'm with Mommy and painting.
Nice. And what room are we working on?
The living room.
The living room. And what color are we painting it?
Like blue or something, or green.
Oh my gosh, this video is the cutest. It's just amazing seeing how my children have grown up in this house and how much they've transformed and how much this house has transformed. So let's go down this hallway to the right and we're going to see the laundry room and the guest bathroom. So even though this laundry room was outdated, there was wallpaper, old appliances, it was still amazing. It was huge. But over time, I just kind of destroyed it and decided, you know what, this room needs a makeover. So I laid my first flooring project in this room and it turned out amazing. I also found this table from the thrift store for like $35, split it in half, mounted it to the wall, sanded the top, painted, added a stencil, and really it just became this beautiful laundry room, a place where, you know, it's not just a place to do laundry, but it's a place where you can actually hang out. Down the hall from the laundry room is the guest bathroom, the half bathroom. Again, covered in wallpaper. I had painted it, but it looked kind of boring until I stenciled it. And really, stenciling, this was my first stenciling project. It was very difficult. I have to admit, it was frustrating, and I do believe wallpaper would have been easier. But you know how I feel about wallpaper? You know, with paint, you can do a lot. This vanity, although I painted it, at some point I probably will rip this out, very soon and build another one. But overall, this bathroom looks great when guests come over. I don't have to be embarrassed. Now let's take it upstairs to my master bathroom. This is what the vanity looked like when we moved in. There was wallpaper, so I tore all that down, did another coat of sea salt, and painted the vanity white. Well, this bathroom has actually gone through several transformations because later I ended up painting it a different color. I painted gray with stencils, but the floor was in bad condition. You see it's stained. So over time, we ended up replacing a lot of stuff. I ripped out the vanity and we also got new flooring. This is something that I didn't do myself. We actually had worked with a company that had come in, had done it for us. And so I kind of wanted to leave this to the professionals. I just didn't want to do this mess myself. And the floor ended up looking fantastic. I did fill those holes in the wall, painted, and guess what, guys? I built a vanity. That's right. I did a red oak vanity. It turned out great. And I had gone to a salvage shop and found the legs just like that and decided to cut them down and use those to build the vanity. And I also did a nice cool finish with some liming wax. All of these video links are down below. Another thing that I did was I painted my shower. Of course, I used a special epoxy paint. You can find that link down below. But it's been almost 3 years since I did that, and the paint has still held up. It has not been chipping. There was one small chip, but overall, it had held up. This bathroom had gone from really kind of drab 1970s to very modern. I mean, this is one of my favorite rooms. I did board and batten. I put in a new toilet. I am pretty proud of this bathroom and the fact that I built that vanity. And it's been, 2 years since I did that vanity. And I can tell you it has not fallen down. That means a lot to me. So let's take it over to my kids' bathroom. Of course, it had wallpaper. So this is what it looked like once the wallpaper started coming down. And the finished bathroom looked really great. I just simply painted the old vanity and removed the toilet. Now the tiles on the floor, the peel and stick tiles, I left those and I just went over it with the leftover floor tiles that I had from the laundry room. So I didn't have to buy any flooring for this. The tub was really the last eyesore. And if you've been following my blog, you'd know 4 or 5 months ago, I actually had some professionals come in and rip out the entire tub. It was a big job, and I don't think my carpentry skills was at that level because there was some plumbing stuff, and it was just too much. Overall, it looked good. I didn't like that the tub was smaller than the other, fiberglass, but it is what it is. And eventually, I probably will replace this vanity, maybe do 2 singles side by side. But right now, the bathroom looks really great. It's a big improvement. Next up, the master bedroom. Look at those quilted pink curtains. So fashionable. So fashionable. So once all the wallpaper was removed, I chose the most beautiful color. Oh my gosh, rain washed is amazing. I have not painted over this. This is the color I initially chose, and I have stuck with it. So as for projects in the room, they were either given to me or thrifted. This is a dresser my mother-in-law had given to me, and this is where hubby keeps his clothes. And then I've got another dresser on the other side. Now the other dresser, this is what I picked up from the thrift store for like $60. And I really have no plans to replace this anytime soon. It looks fabulous with the stencil and I love it. Now, one of the things that I had to do several years ago was paint the ceiling. There were little pieces of paint that were like chipped from the ceiling. So I had to repair that. And then I just decided, while I'm painting this, why don't I just go ahead and do crown molding? And it looks really good. Over years, I've had to paint the bed. I've changed the bedspreads, but this is what my bedroom looks like now. We changed the bed to like a dark gray. I actually prefer it white, but we are in the market for a new bed. So you'll see that coming up soon. All right, the kids' room. I really don't have much to say about the kids' room. It's not changed very much over the years with the exception of this dark green color, which I was a little afraid of color at first, but I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable doing color. Kwabana's room, he had this horrific wallpaper. And initially, this was actually supposed to be the nursery. Kwabana actually even helped paint the nursery. But you know how it is with kids. They end up sleeping in your room. So it wasn't really a nursery. It was sort of, a junk room that Kwabana later took over. And it just wasn't working for him. So I painted that room for him with a nice, beautiful accent. And this dresser, $20. The only thing is that it's kind of small, so he needs something a little bit bigger as he gets older. Now, one of my favorite features in his room is this copper bookshelf / headboard over his bed. I was a little worried the books would fall on his head, but he has survived. So moving on to the basement. Now, this is what it looked like with the previous homeowners, and this is what it looked like when I moved in and decided to turn it into an office. It looked really good. The thing is, there was a couple problems in the basement. Number one, it was messy. I used the basement to do projects, but it also still had water damage from just, water coming in. So if you remember several months ago, I had to rip out part of this wall and take the door out so that I could fix the mold problem. That ended up being kind of a big job, but it needed to be done. And successfully, I'm happy to report the water is no longer coming in, which is great. So after getting this door in, then I can move on to actually fixing the flooring. And I did some vinyl plank flooring. It took maybe 5 days. Some people were like, well, why didn't you hire somebody? That's something I felt I could do myself. And it looked great. Now, remember this dresser that I did several years ago and I was crying about, oh my gosh, I ruined it. No, it actually looked really good. And I found the perfect spot for it in the basement. My television the new television that I bought looks great over it. So this is where I work now. This is my office, and I'm just really loving how it looks. We are almost done with this virtual house tour. Let's stop off in the garage. This is a place I have been, oh my goodness, I have been painting. I've been filling cracks. I've been painting the floor, the walls, everything, all with the goal of having a workshop. And just when I think that I've made it pretty, it just ends up getting cluttered again. I don't know what it is about garages, but they just are a great dumping ground. Well, recently you've seen on my channel that I've been doing some work in the garage. I was able to clean everything out, organize it. I even got a new workbench, which I love because it's taller. I'm tall, I'm 5'10". And over the years that we've been here, I've really done a lot of work to the point of where I walk into the garage and I'm like, wow, this looks great. So I am happy with the way it looks, and I can only hope that it continues to improve. And the last space in this virtual home tour is my backyard. I like having this much space outside to entertain, but in the 9 years we've been here, I've learned some things. It takes a lot of work to, number one, create something pretty on the outside, but then to maintain it. These walkways that I put in, they looked great when I put them in, but then you start mixing mulch in with the rocks and weeds growing on top. It's a nightmare. And this outdoor, I call it my Wizard of Oz door. This is the door we had replaced by professionals. This is not a DIY job because it leaked. This is where the leaking from the basement came from. And it had leaked for the 9 years we've been there. So they replaced it. And now we just put a tarp over it because we don't want to deal with it. One thing that I really became interested in after really doing a lot on the inside is gardening. Now I could focus on the outside. I could do some garden beds. I did these cute little fence planters, but the garden beds were fun. And this year I feel a little guilty because I had started growing things and then I just got busy and just started leaving my fruits and vegetables to rot. And I also did a fire pit. Overall, this looks great. This is a place where we like to entertain. We don't entertain that often, but when we do, it's a place where we can have people over. And the patio has changed over time too. Furniture has changed, and it always requires pressure washing, always maintaining. So what's really amazing about doing this video, and I'm sorry that it's so long, but this is a journal of the journey in our house. My children have grown up here. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm talking about this. My children have grown up here. They've played with each other. We've put a lot of love and a lot of time and attention in this home. And it doesn't matter what the color of the walls are. And it doesn't matter what kind of furniture you have. What matters are the people that's inside your home. And if it doesn't get done in one day, 1 month, 1 year, don't worry about it. Just make these small incremental changes over time and you will have the home that you love. And it's even better when you have the people that you love in your home. Thank you so much for watching this home tour. If you want to know more about Invisalign, who sponsored this video, thank you so much to them. You can go to Invisalign.com and you can find me at ThriftDiving.com. Be sure to subscribe because we're doing great things here at Thrift Diving and it's really exciting to have you be a part of it. I'll see you next video.